a very warm welcome to the brand new edition of To The Point. I'm Kriti Mishra. And on today's show, we have with us Environment, Forest and Climate Change Minister, Mr. Prakash Javadekar. So, welcome to Rajya Sabha Television and thank you so much for talking to us.
Yes.
You're also the Heavy Industries as well as I&B Minister, but today we'll focus on environment, forest and climate change. And let me begin by quoting you. You said that Beijing took 15 years and India will take less amount of time for reducing air pollution. You also said that recognition of a problem leads to a solution. What is the roadmap ahead to combat air pollution?
This government, under leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, is determined for Swachh Bharat, Clean India. In that Clean India, cleaning air is also included. So we have chalked out a plan for 122 cities, because cities usually have the pollution problem because of so many vehicles, so many industries, so many population and waste, and also dust as well as biomass burning. So all these factors are important components of pollution. So we need to tackle each one of them. And government has started working when Atalji was Prime Minister. Major polluting industries were shifted out of Delhi. The CNG buses were started during that time. The metro railway was inaugurated that time. So many things started from that period. Yes, there was lull on action part during 2004 to 14, but now again last 5 years, we have started this with launching of air quality index and taking n number of steps in each. So I say that recognition of problem is the beginning of solution, and I will not take more time because already we have started our efforts and now we can achieve very good results in next 5 years, because on vehicle fronts, we are leapfrogging from BS4 to BS6. And from 1st April throughout the country, we will get BS6 compliant vehicles. Both these put together will reduce vehicular pollution to the extent of 75-80%. So that's a huge difference as far as vehicle pollution is concerned. And likewise in Delhi also, we have built Eastern and Western Express Peripheral Way. So undestined 60,000 vehicles which used to pass through Delhi every day and pollute are now not entering into Delhi. So these are the ways of how you can tackle each. In industries, we have increased the emission norms, revised the emission norm upwards so there will be less emission. We have taken measures for increasing their energy efficiency. We have banned the pet coke and furnace oil in NCR region, and we have also taken a lead in creating zigzag technology for brick manufacturing. So everything is in place. So in each sector I can go on and tell you the story of how we want to mitigate. Even in stubble burning, we have started from central government itself initiated, and we are also promoting technologies. So I am very sure within 1 or 2 years there will be a feasible technology which will make it economically viable to cut the grass and cut the stubble and give it to a feeder where they can convert that into energy of one or other kind. So that is also on the cards. So and biomass burning, we have revised waste management rules where we want to discipline, and we will make it very important platform. Waste management will also bring down the pollutions of cities.
That's a very important point that you're making, but talking about Delhi specifically, Aam Aadmi Party and BJP have been trading charges. And Aam Aadmi Party
No, we are not trading charges.
Aam Aadmi Party says that environment should become an electoral issue.
No, but because they have nothing else to say, they want to talk about, but I'm always ready because we have done action, they have done advertisement. That's the only difference. And people understand who has done the work. Modi has done the work and they have not done anything. They stopped. They did not pay their part. Contribution in the Eastern Western Express Peripheral Way, court has to order. They stopped Metro 4, Phase 4. They stopped every development which would have reduced the pollution. And we will expose them badly if they want to come on this point, yes. And at the same time, we will also ensure that in Metro also, they had to pay their share, which they didn't. Ultimately, court has to order. So, this is a government which only talks and advertises, but which doesn't do anything. Odd and even is an optic. And it has proved that it's an optic. So, there are no actions from state government, their own industrial estates. I can count one after another, where they are burning waste, there are unpaved roads, there are no cleanliness, no waste collection. So all which is government's in the DSSI, DC's responsibility, because in industrial township, they are recognized as municipalities. So in industrial towns, it is the responsibility of the industrial estate, but which they don't do it. And therefore, pollution is heavy in Delhi industrial areas. That is the responsibility of the Delhi state government. Where it is, they have failed.
But sir, there's a bit of a breather and respite. Data from ambient air quality monitoring shows that there has been overall improvement in air in the last 3 years.
It's an overall improvement for last 4-5 years because of our effort of converting it to BS6, building Eastern and Western Express Peripheral Way, because we closed down the Badarpur plant, because we converted brick kilns on zigzag technology, because we converted thousands of industries on PNG. Now we'll be converting it on LPG also. So these actions of Modi government are responsible for for reducing pollution or little better condition in all NCR region. It's not only one Delhi city, because it's an air shade. It's not one city limit where the pollution is a problem. Pollution is the air shade. We started a combined effort which nobody thought of. We said that it's a problem not of one state, not of one municipal limit, but of total air shade. And therefore we brought Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh on the table. And we started, and from 15, now there are 10 ministerial meetings, hundreds of meetings by CPCB, nearly 30 meetings by secretary, nearly 7-8 meetings by PM's task force, and there are other meetings whenever relevant, and all these meetings are focusing on short-term, medium-term and long-term remedies.
The question was, every year stubble burning issue resurfaces. Could there be an interstate coordination committee?
It is not about coordination, it is about technology. That, as I told you, is under development. Let us wait for technology to crack and you will have a solution when stubble will not be burned. But today we are providing machines. Whatever is possible we are doing. And central government is providing, not the state governments and not Delhi government. Delhi government, instead of spending 1500 crore on advertisements, could have given 1500 crores to Punjab and Haryana farmers. And their own Aam Aadmi Party MPs and MLAs in Punjab call farmers to burn stubble. And they talk different in Delhi. We don't do double speak.
Absolutely, sir. In fact, in Parliament, there was detailed discussion on pollution, both in Rajya Sabha as well as Lok Sabha. In Lok Sabha, it was under Rule 193, and Rajya Sabha saw a calling attention debate. Members have also called to the government to declare this as an environmental emergency. Would you agree?
Words matter little. More important is action. And we are already taking emergency actions. So as I narrated, hundreds of action, everything cost. Because every climate action has a cost. When we built Eastern and Western Express Peripheral Way, which UPA never did, which was supported by Ahmad Party, we have incurred 17,000 crore of rupees. If today Metro, which was started by Atalji's regime and has fructified to 274 stations and 355 kilometers, carrying 5 million people every day in an environmental friendly fashion, and where 5,500,000 vehicles which would have otherwise been on the road are not on the road, the e-push, 300,000, 3 lakh vehicle owners have got subsidy for purchasing electrical vehicles. There are 100,000 rickshaws which have converted themselves into e-rickshaws. So all these efforts have fructified and have reduced the pollution burden. But I don't say it reduces much, because you will have to continuously fight against pollution, because everyday population is increasing. Every day 2,000 new vehicles are registered. So when everything is growing, pollution also grows. And therefore you have to make consistent effort to reduce it further and further.
But so, talking about the health impact, today only there was a report that pollution truncates 17 years of life from a Delhiite's life. Do you plan to conduct a study?
No, we have already done studies, and there is no correlation, direct correlation between deaths as claimed and pollution. But yes, there is health impact, and there is respiratory problems emanating from pollution. It's happening world over, globally. California people are fighting against pollution. Paris also fights against pollution. There are different kinds of pollution: ozone pollution, benzene pollution, NOx pollution, SOx pollution. We have PM 2.5 because in Indo-Gangetic belt there is moisture more and alluvial soil more. So it's a loose soil, and the combination is deadly. And therefore you find more and more polluted cities in this region. And in southern India, on Deccan Plateau, you see more and more cities with very less pollution. What is the difference between Delhi and Bangalore traffic or population? Bangalore is little less, but still Bangalore is a big city.
Yes.
But it is below 100 always for many days, 300 days. So this happens to them. And therefore, it differs. So geophysical realities is also a factor to be understood. But still, we need city-specific actions. And therefore, we have started a national clean air program where government is giving money, local governments also will give money, and state governments also will give money, so that we take correct concrete actions specific to cities' specific pollution loads.
Taking a cue from what you said, National Clean Air Program, wherein you have decided to reduce PM 2.5 and PM 10 by 20 to 30% by the year 2024, keeping 2017 as the base year. Are all the action plans in sync to achieve that objective?
Absolutely. Because now, first time India thought of having city-specific plans. This is Modi government. And therefore, this is a new beginning. Smart cities was part of this. Swachh Bharat is the larger mission. We have 8 missions in place. There is Sustainable Habitat also mission working on. And so, on all fronts, action has started. That's always a hope for the better future.
But sir, do you think management of construction activity, that's a Herculean task for the government?
That's a good thing. Construction and demolition. Unfortunately, from independence, no government has made any rules for construction, demolition, waste management. I made it. After seeing the metro work, how they tunnel and how they manage their dust. So I sent my team of officers to the metro corporation and we copied their rules essentially for construction and demolition waste management rules. Today I am happy to tell that many corporations are setting up their plants to convert construction demolition waste, जिसे राडा रोडा बोलते हैं, that into useful tiles, paver blocks, dividers and many other road infrastructure that is created in Delhi. 3 plants are working, converting every day 6,000 tons of construction and demolition waste. Otherwise, that would have littered around and would have choked nalas and gullies.
So you've enumerated several steps and we've seen the result as well. But how do we create public awareness?
Public awareness is very important, like you, the channels, the newspapers must carry out, because I use electrical scooter for last 8 years for my use. People must use, that is one. Second, they must cycle to the nearby works. They should not take out car. They should walk. They should plant trees. They should, everybody, it's a citizen action also. It's a government action plus citizen action which will give freedom from pollution. It's not one way. It's not just a government job. It's a people's job and people need to participate. Maintain their own vehicle. Follow the lane discipline. Close the engine on big signals. Then also follow the speed limits. Drive as per rules. This also reduces pollution. Now, as Gadkari ji has done in Dhaulakua, which used to clock for 20 minutes to pass Dhaulakua intersection, we used to take 20 minutes. Now only 2 minutes. So that's the difference. That reduces pollution. Every step in the right direction reduces pollution, and people need to save water, save electricity, save everything, and start walking nearby work, doing by cycle, everything that will improve health also, and that will also reduce pollution.
So you're also the Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises Minister. Transition to EVs, how do you see that rolling out and panning out?
I think last 3 years, 3 lakh vehicles have got subsidy. There are e-rickshaws, there are e-buses. It is growing. Government is replacing its all cars in due course by electrical vehicles. So this will create electrical charging infrastructure also. And I think this is one more option to reduce pollution in cities. And therefore, this will pick up like anything because government has a plan. And there will be new technologies. And we also are preparing right from today the waste management for lithium batteries, because that will be the new waste generating. But we will be ready with the new rules and the mechanism.
But again, water pollution has become a cause of concern for Delhi.
Water pollution is a big problem, and particularly in Delhi, what the drinking water is given, Delhi Jal Board, has been exposed by BIS. BIS is a worldwide acclaimed recognition of the standards. That standards are being challenged for political reasons is very bad. So BIS said that we are ready for joint inspection. Delhi government has backed out and doing their own gimmick. But that won't work. And therefore, we need to go ahead and actually do not politicize these issues, because these are issues of everybody. Don't politicize. But if somebody wants to political, he will have to face the music, because they are in the wrong box. And they want to project themselves in the right box. That will not happen. But Delhi water or water anywhere. See, after 70 years of independence, nearly 70% of excreta or human waste, sewage goes into water bodies all over the country. With 10 million, with 100 million toilets, we have created open defecation free country, and that part of sewage doesn't now go to water bodies. That's first success. Industrial wastewater, we have stopped to a great extent, but we have closed factories after factories. But we will be more strict, and we have put monitors on it, and there is a difference, but still much needs to be done in tanneries and many other sectors. I think technology is also getting up, and there will be concrete action from government side also, and people will also understand. So water is polluted because of agriculture waste, industrial waste, and sewage. All three pollute the water, and it has polluted all over the country. We need to act together. So Modi ji started Clean Ganga program, and now we are taking up various rivers also, because we'll need huge resources. It's a huge backlog of 70 years. Nobody thought of sewage treatment plants. Now we have to do it. And once we do it, there will be fresh and good water. But it takes time. It's not switch on and switch off. It's not. In one day, you can't make wonders happen. It takes sustained program, sustained action, and a definite result.
You're making a very pertinent point, sir, but there's another aspect which is of single-use plastic. Now you've vowed to eliminate single-use plastic. Do you plan to develop some kind of R&D to develop alternatives?
See, let me first clarify. Plastic per se is not problem. Uncollected plastic waste is a problem. That is littering around. And when I go for plastic cleaning everywhere, what I found is the thin carry bags. And therefore, in Plastic Waste Management Rule 2016, we have said that below 50 microns, you cannot produce any plastic carry bags. But still, they get produced. It is the duty of the state governments all over India, all over the country, to ensure that no production below 50 microns happen. That will be a great help. And the pouches of gutkas, pan parag, and many other things also create problem, because nobody picks them up, because they don't give them price. You have to bend every time. So these should not be littered around. It's behavior also. It's a behavior change, and it's also a habit. That's why Prime Minister came out with new ideas of plugging, pick up polythene wherever you see, and he has said that let us work together as a citizen movement and say no to single-use plastic. So to start to reduce the plastic waste which gets uncollected, the starting point is say no to single-use plastic.
So these rules are a welcome step, but do you think you need to introduce an element of compulsion to ensure that there's effective implementation?
I think there has to be rule, law, implementation, but also a public awareness. As we have seen, it takes 10 years. But now firecrackers, children are telling their parents, we don't want firecrackers. If that's a result of a sustained awareness campaign, I think that's a great thing to happen. And therefore, we must create simultaneously public awareness campaign where people become, because they are individually hygienic, but as a country we are not hygienic. So we need to change that concept. Public hygiene is also very important, and therefore waste management, waste collection, segregation of waste, and proper waste management is all important. For people, it is their duty to segregate waste and to give waste, not to throw anywhere, not to litter anywhere.
And as a country, we need to evolve. But lastly, sir, what would be India's strategy at Madrid Climate Change Summit?
In Madrid Climate Change, the issues are we have to reaffirm the Paris Agreement and its implementation. Because Paris is a huge agreement of the world towards a better future for the earth, because every country has given their indices. So let us follow on their indices. India is walking the talk. India has promised reducing its emission intensity by 35%. We are already at 21%. We have promised 40% of our energy mix through renewables. We have already 80,000 megawatts of renewable energy. We are aiming to achieve 1,75,000 in next 3 years, and in near future we'll build up 4,50,000 megawatts of renewable energy. So huge commitment, and we will create more forest. And good news is that in last 5 years, 13,000 square kilometers of green cover in forest and outside forest has increased. So that's a good news for the country, and we are walking the talk. We will now in Madrid emphasize that all countries should walk the talk, because it's not few countries' job. Today, very few countries are walking the talk before implementation of Paris Agreement, because Paris Agreement gets implemented from next year, not from this year. But we have already in last 5 years have done so much. That's credit to India.
So India is walking the talk. On that note, thank you so much for talking
Thank
to
you.
us. It was a pleasure
Thank you.
talking to you, sir.
Thank you.